Welcome back to Senior Health Stories, your trusted companion for living healthier and happier in your golden years. We're here to share expert tips, practical advice, and inspiring stories to help seniors thrive, no matter their age. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but your body still feels weaker every day? You eat your eggs in the morning, you drink your protein shake, you follow your doctor's advice, just like they said. But then, every time you stand up from a chair, you let out a sigh. Your arms don't have the same strength to lift a full pot like they used to. Your steps feel slower, heavier, even though you haven't changed your routine. You're not lazy. You're not weak. And you are definitely not alone. There are thousands of older adults across America, folks just like you, going through the exact same thing. They thought eating enough protein would be enough. They believed this was just a normal part of aging, but it turns out that's not the full story. You're not aging too fast. You're not lacking willpower. You might just be missing something important, something no one clearly explained to you. Today, we're going to talk about one simple mineral that may be even more important than protein when it comes to muscle recovery after 60. You've probably heard of it. You may have seen it on a vitamin label, but chances are no one ever told you why it matters so much, especially for senior health. And no one showed you how to actually use it to help your body feel strong again. I'm not here to sell you anything. I have no product, no pill, no powder to push. All I want is to share something I wish we'd all known years ago.
This isn't a magic cure. It's something your body already needs. But because of today's fast-paced lifestyle, poor nutrition, stress, aging, and lack of balance, your body just doesn't have enough of it anymore. When you get enough of this mineral, you might notice your muscles recovering faster after simple movements. You might sleep deeper. Your mind may feel clearer. And those nagging muscle cramps or aches you thought were just part of getting older might finally start to fade away. So if you've ever asked yourself, why do I still feel weak even though I'm eating so carefully? Then maybe, just maybe, the answer isn't that you're not eating enough. It could be that you're missing the one thing your body has been quietly begging for. And if you've been looking for the real reason behind your fatigue, slow recovery, weak muscles, or that constant feeling of being drained after 60, you're in the right place. No one should have to live in a body that feels powerless, especially when the answer may be right in front of you.
Last week, I had a conversation with a woman named Stacy. She's 68 years old, lives in Colorado, and takes her health very seriously. Every morning, she makes a protein shake, eats boiled eggs, and goes for a walk around the neighborhood. Dinner always includes chicken breast and some greens. She told me, "I'm doing everything they say is right, but it still feels like my body is shrinking. Every time I walk down the stairs, my legs feel weaker. And I just don't understand why." And you know what? She's not the only one. One person left a comment under our video saying, "I eat eggs, I eat meat, I follow all the nutrition advice about protein. But after surgery, my recovery is still so slow." Another wrote, with a hint of frustration, "I've been adding extra chicken to every meal, but I still feel tired. The energy just isn't there." And honestly, there are so many older adults going through the same thing. They've been told over and over again, eat more protein and you'll stay strong. But somehow, the results don't match the effort. Here's something most people don't realize. After age 60, the body enters a phase called muscle loss, or sarcopenia. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not a personal failure. It's a natural part of aging. But the problem is, too many people think protein alone is enough to fight it off. And the truth is, it's not. When we're younger, our bodies absorb and use protein pretty efficiently. But as we age, that process slows down. Plus, there are so many other factors that affect muscle health: chronic inflammation, poor sleep, mental stress, long-term medications, and most of all, a lack of essential nutrients, especially minerals. And minerals, particularly magnesium, play a much bigger role than people think, but they often get overlooked. Let me put it this way. Protein is like the bricks you use to build a house. But if you don't have the workers, the construction crew, those bricks won't turn into anything. In your body, those workers are the minerals. Magnesium, for example, is involved in over 300 biochemical functions, including how your muscles rebuild and how your energy returns after any form of strain, whether it's exercise, surgery, or just a long day.
So if you're low in magnesium, your body can't really make full use of the protein you're eating. You might be taking in all the right foods, but it still doesn't translate into strength, recovery, or that youthful energy you're hoping for. That weakness, that fatigue, that slow healing after exercise or injury. It might not be your age. It might be your body's quiet way of saying, "I'm missing something." Some people even feel like they're aging faster than they should, but what's really happening is a micronutrient imbalance. You can't see it in the mirror, but you can feel it in your body. Poor sleep, constant muscle soreness, and sometimes even a foggy, unmotivated mood for no clear reason. And when I read all these comments from the senior health community, I realized something powerful. People aren't lacking willpower. They're not giving up. They're doing their best. They're showing up. But they're missing the right information. And if someone as dedicated as Stacy still feels worn down, then clearly we need a new way of thinking about senior health, aging, and nutrition. Stacy's story is just one of thousands, but it's a perfect example of this truth. Protein is necessary, but it's not enough. After 60, your body needs more support. Without the right minerals to go with it, even the best diet won't give your muscles what they need. And that's what leaves so many people feeling stuck, like they're doing everything right, but still not getting stronger. But the good news is, once you understand this, everything starts to change. So if you're low in magnesium, your body can't really make full use of the protein you're eating. You might be taking in all the right foods, but it still doesn't translate into strength, recovery, or that youthful energy you're hoping for. That weakness, that fatigue, that slow healing after exercise or injury, it might not be your age. It might be your body's quiet way of saying, "I'm missing something." Some people even feel like they're aging faster than they should, but what's really happening is a micronutrient imbalance. You can't see it in the mirror, but you can feel it in your body. Poor sleep, constant muscle soreness, and sometimes even a foggy, unmotivated mood for no clear reason. And when I read all these comments from the senior health community, I realized something powerful. People aren't lacking willpower. They're not giving up. They're doing their best. They're showing up, but they're missing the right information. And if someone as dedicated as Stacy still feels worn down, then clearly we need a new way of thinking about senior health, aging, and nutrition. Stacy's story is just one of thousands, but it's a perfect example of this truth. Protein is necessary, but it's not enough. After 60, your body needs more support. Without the right minerals to go with it, even the best diet won't give your muscles what they need. And that's what leaves so many people feeling stuck, like they're doing everything right, but still not getting stronger. But the good news is, once you understand this, everything starts to change.
My primary care doctor never mentioned magnesium. Not even the surgeon. My physical therapist just talked about stretching. No one in the system told them to check their mineral levels, even though minerals are key to muscle recovery, pain relief, better sleep, and even avoiding cramps. And it's not the doctors don't care. They do, but they're under pressure. Most appointments last 10, maybe 15 minutes, and in that short window, things like deep sleep, hydration, magnesium, or micronutrient balance often get left out. But here's the truth. For people over 60, the small stuff makes the biggest difference. Another viewer wrote, "I was recovering so slowly after surgery, even though I ate tons of protein. But once I added magnesium glycinate, I started sleeping better, hurting less, and finally feeling stronger again." Someone else shared, "No one ever told me about magnesium, but once I started taking it properly, the right dose, the right form, I felt like myself again." These aren't textbook stories. These are real people, real experiences, and they matter. We can't blame ourselves for not knowing, because everything we've been taught, by ads, by habits, even by culture, tells us that protein is enough. But when your body doesn't bounce back like it used to, when your old workouts stop working, that's when it's time to stop and ask, what haven't I been told? And that's the moment something shifts. That's when you realize what you're missing might not be food, it might be the right information.
What hits me the hardest when I read all these comments is this. So many people felt guilty. They thought they were failing. They thought weakness meant they weren't trying hard enough. But that's not true. They were just missing one piece of the puzzle. And when they finally found it, they didn't just get stronger. They got their confidence back. They started trusting their bodies again. So if you've ever thought, maybe I'm just getting old, or maybe I messed something up, please don't blame yourself. The answer might be much simpler than you think, but you need the right knowledge from people you can trust. And that is exactly why we're here, talking about this together. If you've ever felt tired for no clear reason, like your energy's low even though you haven't done anything too demanding, if you get leg cramps at night, or you wake up feeling heavy and drained, there's a good chance your body is missing something, magnesium. And you wouldn't be alone. In fact, the majority of Americans over 60 are magnesium deficient and don't even know it. This isn't just about being tired. A magnesium deficiency can keep your muscles from recovering, your body from building strength, no matter how much protein you eat. Here's the thing. Muscles can't relax or contract properly without magnesium. Your nerves can't fire signals. Your heartbeat becomes irregular. Sleep becomes shallow. Energy just vanishes. And often we blame aging, but sometimes it's not aging. It's a missing mineral, a very basic one that just doesn't get talked about enough. Your body runs hundreds of chemical reactions every single day. Over 300 of those depend on magnesium. It's also required to activate ATP, the molecule your cells use for energy. But here's the part most people have never heard. ATP doesn't work alone. It needs magnesium to do its job. No magnesium, no real energy. So yes, you might be exercising, eating well, taking care of your senior health, but if you're short on magnesium, your body can't convert all that effort into true strength or healing. Here's another fact not many folks know. Every movement you make, from walking to lifting a grocery bag to getting up from a chair, requires magnesium to control muscle contractions. When you're low on it, you're more likely to get cramps, feel stiff, or have that strange sense of your muscles being locked up. As we age, things like stress recovery, muscle repair,
blood sugar control, and even blood pressure regulation rely more and more on magnesium. But unlike calcium or vitamin C, a magnesium deficiency doesn't always show up in obvious ways. You may not notice until the signs have been there for months. Long-term fatigue, trouble sleeping, slow recovery, and sore muscles. And many older adults think it's just how aging feels. But in reality, once people start restoring their magnesium levels, they often see real changes in just a few weeks. Now, not all magnesium is created equal, and this is important. There are many types on the market, but not all of them are well absorbed by the body. Some of the cheaper forms, like magnesium oxide, pass right through your system with little to no effect. So let's talk about the forms that actually work. First, we have magnesium glycinate. This is one of the easiest types to absorb, and it's gentle on the stomach. It's especially helpful for people who struggle with sleep, whether that's falling asleep, waking up at night, or feeling like sleep just isn't restful. Glycinate supports the nervous system and helps the body move into a calm, restorative state. Next is magnesium malate. This form is great for folks who feel tired all day long, like they just can't recharge, even with rest. Malate supports cellular energy production, especially in older adults whose mitochondria may be slowing down. If daily tasks feel like a burden, cooking, walking, keeping up with your routine, malate may help bring your energy back. Third is magnesium threonate. This one can cross the blood-brain barrier, which means it supports your memory, clarity, and focus. If you've been feeling forgetful, mentally foggy, or like it's harder to learn or stay sharp, threonate is worth looking into. It's not a miracle drug, but it helps the brain function in a healthier, more alert way. So here's the big takeaway. Magnesium isn't just a supplement. It's the missing key that helps everything else you're doing, your nutrition, your workouts, your sleep, actually work. And if you've been doing your best but still feel like your body isn't bouncing back like it should, maybe it's time to stop and ask, am I missing something basic, something my doctor never even mentioned?
Not long ago, I went back to visit my grandfather in the rural West. He's 71, used to be strong as an ox, always out in the yard, trimming trees, pulling weeds, watering plants. He was never one to sit still. But this time, when I arrived, he was just sitting there, quiet, still, on that old wooden chair, staring out into the distance, holding a cup of tea, but not drinking it. I asked him how he was, and all he said, barely above a whisper, was, "I can't do much anymore. Just bending over for a minute makes me dizzy. My back starts to ache." In that moment, I knew. This wasn't just getting older. This was his body telling him something deeper. I didn't tell him to exercise more. I didn't suggest eating more protein. I simply asked him to try taking magnesium glycinate. Just one small dose, every night before bed. We started slow, let his body adjust. By the end of the first week, he was sleeping better. Week 2, he could stand up without feeling lightheaded. By week 3, he picked up the watering can and strolled through his garden again. And with a grin on his face, he said, "I think the plants missed the sound of my footsteps." I don't believe in miracles, but I do believe in timing. And that moment felt right. Not everyone is convinced right away. I remember talking to Linda, a woman from my senior wellness group. She's 65. After a hip replacement, she ate all the right things: eggs, lean meats, protein shakes. But still, she felt weak, needed support just to stand, couldn't walk 5 minutes without losing her breath.
The doctors told her, "You're healing. Be patient." So she waited. Month 1, month 2, month 3. Still no change. One day, she listened to a talk about micronutrients and muscle recovery. That was her turning point. She did her own research, started taking magnesium glycinate along with a bit of zinc every night after a light dinner. In just 10 days, she noticed something. Less soreness during physical therapy. She could stand longer without back pain. By week 4, she messaged me, "I don't know what's happening, but this morning I got out of bed without holding on to anything." Nobody told her that in the hospital. No doctor said, "You need magnesium to help those joints recover." No nurse mentioned, "Your muscles won't heal right without it." But her body knew. And once it got what it needed, it responded clearly. I've read hundreds of comments just like hers from across the country. A woman in Oregon wrote, "After switching to magnesium glycinate every night, I feel like I've got control of my body again." A man in Texas said, "I never realized how much low magnesium was affecting my mood. I sleep better, feel calmer, and I'm back to lifting weights."
These aren't just one-off stories. This is a shared experience from people who once thought they had no hope left. Someone once asked me, "So, should I just start taking more magnesium?" And the honest answer is no, not more, not blindly, but the right kind, the right amount, at the right time. What matters most is understanding what your body is missing and how to give it exactly that. You don't have to push yourself harder. You just need to listen more closely. When you give your body what it's truly asking for, that's when all your effort starts working. And once you begin to feel better, nobody has to remind you. You'll want to walk a little farther, take care of yourself a little more. Not because you have to, but because your body is proving to you that it can heal, and it deserves to be trusted again.
These days, more and more people over 60 are starting to pay attention to magnesium, and that's a good thing. But here's the problem. Not everyone knows how to take it the right way. Some folks take the wrong form, some take too much, some take it at the wrong time of day. And many just give up too early after a few days when they don't feel immediate results. But if you already understand how important magnesium is, then your next step shouldn't be guessing. It should be starting smart and safe. For most older adults, a simple starting point is this. Take around 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate about an hour before bed. This form is ideal for senior health. It's easy on the stomach, it won't upset your digestion, and most importantly, it helps both your muscles and your nervous system relax. Magnesium glycinate doesn't knock you out like a sleeping pill, but it helps your body shift into a restful state, especially if you're someone who wakes up in the middle of the night or struggles to fall into deep sleep. Now, here's something many people don't realize. Magnesium works even better when paired with vitamin D3. Most adults benefit from around 1,000 to 2,000 IUs of D3 per day, depending on how much sun exposure you get and your current levels. Vitamin D3 helps your body absorb magnesium more effectively, and it also supports muscle and bone health. If you've ever taken magnesium but didn't feel much difference, it could be that your body was missing D3 and couldn't use the magnesium properly. Of course, you can also increase your magnesium intake through your diet. Foods rich in magnesium include pumpkin seeds, dark leafy greens like spinach and chard, almonds, black beans, and avocados. And if you love whole foods, that's a great path to take. But here's the truth. After 60, our digestion just isn't what it used to be. Our bodies become less efficient at pulling minerals out of food. And to make things harder, today's fruits and vegetables are often grown in soil depleted of nutrients. So even if your produce looks fresh and healthy, it may have a lot less magnesium than you'd expect. That's why for many seniors, even a healthy diet isn't enough, and combining food with a quality supplement becomes more important than ever. Now, let's talk about what to avoid. Stay away from magnesium oxide. It's one of the cheapest and most widely sold forms, but it's poorly absorbed by the body. Many people take it for months and feel absolutely no change. Some even end up with stomach cramps or diarrhea. So even if the price tag looks good, magnesium oxide simply doesn't work well for most people. One more important note: if you have kidney issues, especially chronic kidney disease, or if you're on dialysis, do not start magnesium supplements without talking to your doctor first. Your kidneys control mineral levels in your bloodstream. If they're not working properly, magnesium can build up, and that can lead to serious health problems. Always get medical advice. And if possible, do a simple blood test to know your current magnesium level. Another tip: if you're already taking calcium, don't take it at the same time as magnesium. They compete for absorption. It's better to take calcium in the morning with breakfast and magnesium in the evening before bed. That way, both are absorbed properly, and your magnesium can support muscle recovery and deep sleep while you rest. You don't need to make things complicated. You don't need to measure every little detail. What you do need is consistency, a basic understanding of your body, and the right form, right dose, at the right time. When you do it right, you won't have to wonder if it's working. Your body will tell you. And no, that shift won't happen overnight. But if you give your body what it's been missing, it will respond. Sometimes quietly, sometimes slowly, but always faithfully, once it finally gets what it's been asking for all along.
After every video I share, I get hundreds of questions. And honestly, what touches me the most is where those questions come from. They're from people just like you, folks over 60 who are doing their best day by day to stay healthy. They're not asking shallow questions, they're asking because they truly want to understand. They want to do things the right way. They're not chasing magic. They just want to know what might help them stay strong, really strong, without needing a pile of pills or ending up in a nursing home. One of the most common questions I get is, do I have to take a supplement? And the honest answer is no. No one has to take anything. But here's the truth. Even if you eat clean, eat plenty of greens, nuts, salmon, today's food isn't what it used to be. The soil has lost a lot of its natural minerals. The vegetables don't carry the same nutrients they did 30 years ago. And your body, especially after 60, doesn't absorb minerals as easily as it once did. So yes, if you want to rely purely on food for magnesium, it's possible, but you'll need to be very consistent, eat large amounts, and keep it up for months. If you're looking for results you can actually feel, like better sleep, less muscle soreness, and faster recovery, then taking a magnesium supplement can be a helpful and safe support tool. Another common question is, I take medications every day, like a diuretic. Can I still take magnesium? The answer is possibly, but you'll need to ask your doctor. Some medications, like diuretics, cause your body to flush out magnesium through urine, which means you could become even more deficient without realizing it. On the flip side, if you have kidney issues, especially chronic kidney disease, magnesium can build up in your body and become dangerous. So no guessing. Write down all the medications you're taking and bring the list to a doctor or a trusted pharmacist. Ask them directly. It's worth it.
A third question I hear a lot is, I'm already taking calcium. Should I stop? The answer is, you don't have to stop, but you do need to space it out. Calcium and magnesium compete for absorption in the body. So if you take them at the same time, say with breakfast or in the same glass of water, your body might absorb less of both. A better plan? Take calcium in the morning or with lunch and save magnesium for the evening. This way, they're both absorbed properly, and you also get the bonus of magnesium helping you sleep deeper at night. I know, some people feel annoyed having to take things at different times. But if you've spent a lifetime taking care of others, now it's time to care for your own body the right way. Sometimes the smallest changes, like just one capsule at night, or changing the timing of what you already take, can make all the difference in how you feel when you wake up. When you understand your body, when you actually listen to it, and when you act based on truth instead of old habits, you start to realize it's never too late. You don't need to change your entire life. You just need to do a few small things right. And magnesium might be one of those things.
For years, we've been told to just put up with aging. Sound familiar? You say, "My back hurts," and someone replies, "That's normal at our age." You mention you can't sleep well, and they say, "You're getting older. Nobody sleeps great anymore." You start losing muscle, feeling weaker, struggling to move, and they call it natural aging. But you know what? I don't accept that. And I don't think you should either. Growing older does not mean giving up. It doesn't mean every day your body has to lose another step. Aging, when you have the right knowledge and take the right actions, can actually be the time in life when you feel sharper, more self-aware, more in control of your own health than ever before. Many of us are used to saying, "Well, I'm getting old," but I want you to try something different. Try saying, "I'm not done yet." Think about everything you've been through, all the times you picked yourself back up, from pain, from exhaustion, from grief. You've already overcome things much harder than what you're facing now. And as long as you're still here, still breathing, still hearing these words, you still have the power to change. Instead of just thinking, "I need more protein," try asking a deeper question. Am I sleeping well? Am I getting enough magnesium? Do I feel my muscles actually recovering? Not because you want to run a marathon, but because you want to walk up the stairs without holding the railing. You want to hold your grandchild without your arm shaking. You want to carry groceries, turn your head, bend your knees, without pain. When I read the comments on these videos, I don't see laziness. I don't see people giving up. I see people trying their best, but missing the right information. People eating eggs every day, still struggling with sore knees. People drinking protein shakes, still feeling slow to recover. People going to the gym, but waking up tired, stiff, and frustrated. They're not doing anything wrong. They're just missing a piece of the puzzle. We've spent so many years in survival mode, fighting off fatigue, fighting off illness, fighting that deep fear of growing old. But you can only fight for so long. Eventually, we get worn down. What we need now isn't more struggle. What we need is to learn how to recover. And recovery is something you absolutely can do once you know where to begin. Let that change start with your mindset. Muscle strength isn't just about looking young. It's about living strong. It's about feeling safe in your own body. It's about being able to stand up from a chair without help, to reach out and hug someone you love without fear of falling. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to decide, I deserve to feel better. And day by day, your body will start to answer that belief. Your muscles can recover. Your sleep can deepen. Your mind can feel clear again. Age doesn't erase your strength, not unless you let it. You've spent your whole life learning how to endure. Now it's time to learn how to care for yourself. With knowledge, with action, with hope. Because real healing doesn't begin with a pill. It begins with a decision. I'm not done yet. After everything you've heard, you might be wondering, so what do I do now? The answer isn't to rush out and buy a dozen supplements, and it's not to start working out 7 days a week. The very first step is to pause. Take a moment to check in with your body. Ask yourself, how am I really feeling? If you've been eating well but still feel weak, if your sleep is shallow, if you find it hard to bounce back after even light activity, those are signals. Your body isn't letting you down. It's whispering, I need something different. Start with something simple. Try adding a small dose of magnesium, about 200 milligrams at night. There's no need to rush. Pay attention over the first week or two. Are you sleeping a little better? Do your muscles feel less tight after a walk? Do mornings feel a bit lighter, a bit clearer? Those little changes are your guide. They'll tell you if you're on the right path. And don't forget, magnesium works best when it's not alone. Adding vitamin D3, around 1,000 IUs per day, and prioritizing deep, restful sleep creates the real environment your body needs to recover. Your body isn't asking you to be perfect. It just needs the right support to start healing itself. And of course, don't skip the nutrition. Sprinkle some pumpkin seeds on your breakfast. Steam a little kale and pair it with salmon. Toss half an avocado into your lunch salad. These simple foods aren't just sources of natural magnesium. They also help nourish your entire nervous system and muscles. Finally, stay consistent. Stronger muscles aren't built from big changes in a few days. They come from steady, simple actions repeated over time. Every small habit counts. That one capsule before bed, that thoughtful meal, that quiet moment to get proper sleep, they add up, day by day, step by step. You don't need magic. You just need to start and keep going.
If you've made it this far, it means you truly care. You're not someone who gives up. You're curious, you're thinking, you're taking action, and that in itself is strength. Because there are plenty of people your age, in your situation, who've chosen to ignore the signs. But not you. You showed up. Now don't stop at understanding. Try something. Give your body a chance to recover. Start small. 1 magnesium capsule before bed. Take a second look at your food labels. Set a gentle bedtime and treat sleep as a real priority. And then just observe. Because when you change how you treat your body starts to change how it responds to you. I'm not saying this because I think you're weak. I'm saying this because I believe you're stronger than you realize. And if this video helps you take even one small step, that's exactly why I made it. If this message felt helpful, please don't just hit like, share it. Share it with someone you love. Maybe the friend you walk with. Maybe your sister. Maybe your husband who always wakes up rubbing his shoulders. A small action from you today might open up an entirely new chapter for someone else. Because the strongest thing we can do for each other isn't to stand alone. It's to lift each other up. And I believe you'll be the one to start that.